So my final question, from the Hope and Change guy, what's your message to those students and to this generation?
Well, look, this is the work that we do at the foundation. This is what I spend my time thinking about. I said earlier I'm not that old, but I'm getting older. When you look at history, change, innovation, change, and
Please, please. Ma'am, people came to hear the 44th President of the United States. We want to afford him the opportunity to give some final comments to the students of the City of Erie and the Erie School District, so please.
So, change comes from young people. Their passions and their ability to see things as they weren't before. And I saw that in these young students that I met with backstage. And so oftentimes, because we're in such fraught times, because sometimes the world feels like it's on tilt, people will come up and say, you're the hope guy, give me some hope. Where do I find it? And I say, in this next generation. This next generation, they are smart. They feel and care deeply about people. Their instincts are to steward our environment. Their instincts are to reach out to people who aren't necessarily exactly like them. And they're sophisticated, and part of our job is to just to give them some lessons from our experience, to give them a hand up as they're coming up, and then get out of the way. And so what I saw with those young people is something that I've seen around the world, by the way, not just here in the United States. What advice would I give them? Be nice to your parents. They're doing their best. I know sometimes we seem like we're idiots, but but there's some things you can still learn from us, and we really do love you. There's a long applause there. It's like, yeah, hear that? The thing I'll say a couple of things. One is learn what you really believe in and what you care most deeply about. Develop a code. Now, in your 20s, you have to test that out, and that's part of why you want to put yourself into, unfamiliar settings and try hard things and travel and talk to people who come from different perspectives and take risks. Because you're trying to figure out what your life experiences tell you are the things that move you most deeply, that you believe in. The thing that ends up, I think, distinguishing people who are happy, satisfying, purposeful from those who aren't is a set of convictions and a North Star. And we don't spend enough time, I think, talking to young people about what are values and morals and convictions that you care about. And that doesn't mean that anybody has the perfect answer, but it does mean that just buying stuff and getting as much money as you can is not the thing that at the end of the day is going to give your life a sense of meaning and purpose. And so spend some time on figuring out what those convictions are. Because when you ask me what's most needed right now from each of us, and I don't exempt myself from this, is knowing where to take a stand on things we believe in. And each of us are in different situations and have different influence. You know, if you are a Republican in Congress right now, you don't have to, you can agree with all kinds of stuff that the president's doing, but then there maybe are some things, if you don't agree with them, say so. Don't just go along with it. If you are a Democrat and you see somebody in your own party that seems to be trying to silence people or cancel them for just expressing their opinions, maybe you say, you know what, I believe in free speech. I'm going to stand up for that. If you're more than anything, I think each of us have some sense of agency and power, because the most important office in democracy is the office of citizen. And our capacity to say, you know what, I believe in free speech. I believe in rule of law. I believe in open debate. I do not believe in violence against people who I disagree with, or because they are of another race or they're of another religion. Having those convictions, particularly at a moment where we are bombarded constantly with distractions and diversions, I think is a useful thing. And last thing I guess I'd say would be kind. Kindness is underrated. We used to tell our daughters, if you summed up all the advice that Michelle and I gave to Malia and Sasha, you could probably summarize it by saying, be kind and be useful. And they're both, and they turned out pretty good. So
We'll send our best to the first.